Hey everybody, this is Dennis from Elgin Network LLC, or the Mad Scientist as everybody calls me. Got a bunch of new stuff in from the Mr. Postman for this week. And one of the things we've got is another Raspberry Pi Zero W, which I'm going to use for a project. So we picked another one up of these. And I picked up another, what we call a Pixie CW transmitter and receiver, but what we can do is we will be changing the crystal on this and adding a couple parts to it, and we'll make it a regular single sideband 40 meter radio. So it's another project I got in. This one also comes with a clear plastic case, and it also has the adjustable potentiometer for the sound, where the other ones don't. So we got that in, and one of the things that I suggest people get if they're getting into this hobby is a giant grab bag of parts. This is actually $20-some. It's by a company called Gemco. They've been around a very long time. I've been buying stuff from them since I was a kid. That's how long they've been around. They have a lot of great parts in them. It's a great way to start doing this hobby, where you can buy grab bags like this, which have a lot of stuff in it. And for the amount that you pay for this is way less than if you were to buy these parts individually. Some of them may not seem familiar to you, but you can always find out what they are by looking for them online. So this is a 2-pound bag of parts. So I'm going to be sorting this all out and putting them in my drawers that I have, and I use them for different projects, so it makes things cheaper. So I would suggest getting something like this if you're starting out, because you're going to need parts for things. So got that. We got here, these are the shields for the Arduinos, which are for the minis and small ones. What they are basically is you take, and let's see if we can open this somehow. If not, I'll have to cut a piece here. So basically what these are is you could take the small little nano and plug them into this, and then you have now all these pins you can use to do different things with it. A lot of this is designed for, like, you could put motor shields hooked to this. It has its own power, so you can power everything instead of using the little USB that comes with it, or have to go to the power pins of the Arduino itself. So we got a package of these. I've got 4 of them. So those are going to help with some projects and make things easier. Again, these are things that you want to look at and buy to make, your projects easier. They're well worth the money. They're very cheap. They're very inexpensive. Another thing I got here, these are a set of many different amateur radio crystals. And then what this is this is a kit, which is a what we call a relay kit. Instead of buying a relay, you can actually make one, which is solid state. What these are used for is, like, when you make certain radio circuits, you have the receive portion of it and you have the transmit portion of it. And usually what we do is we put these in line with the antenna. So basically when you go to transmit, it switches away from the receive and tells the signal to go through the antenna for transmit. Once you stop transmitting, it switches back to the receive part of your electronics, or your radio that you're making, and it's very inexpensive. A lot of switches tend to be very expensive. You can find some that are relatively cheap, but they don't really do what you need to do. So in this case, I decided to go with a electronic which is much better and faster. And this is what they use in a lot of modern equipment these days, is the electronic instead of the what we call reed type switches. So we got this in. We also got, what do we have here? We've got, let's see here, this is more of, yeah, it's more of those other boards. So put that out of the way. We got a box of header pins. These are always good to get also. I'm going to open this so you can show you guys. When you work with Arduinos and you work with Raspberry Pis, you get stuff. Sometimes they come with header pins, sometimes they don't. So it's always good to get yourself a bunch more of these extra header pins. And what these are these are the type where they're dual line header pins. And then this is the long type where it will go through the board and it'll have some sticking out. So if you want, you can put this like on a shield and then it can go right down onto it. So we got the long ones, and then here's the pins, the male pins that you put on them, which are for the I/O board, you know, the I/O output and inputs. And then we got some of the standard females with the shorter legs. And then I think we have, or do we? No, I don't think I do. Yeah, I don't have the females, but there's also females that are long also. But that's what we decided to buy, because I use these a lot. Again, there's a lot of times when I need to have these because I'll purchase some stuff without them, because it's cheaper for me to buy them and have them on hand than it is to buy them with whatever you're buying. So good thing to buy, good thing to have. If one breaks on you while you're working on stuff, you got something to replace it with. So you got that. I've got right here, this is a kind of a rare part, but I had to do a different part number. This is an NTE 7164. It's an integrated circuit. It's a double balanced mixer and oscillator. We use these a lot, again, in radio equipment for the signaling internally to have a better sound, and also it helps to control the signal, which is if you're off, if you need to be off frequency of what the crystal is. This helps to set it so it will work that way, because it is an oscillator. So it actually offsets the crystal frequency, because when you are tuning a radio and you want a certain frequency, well, the crystals aren't all the exact frequencies. So this helps to offset that. So I've got one of those that we're going to be using in a project that I have setting up. And I bought another Raspberry Pi 0W, and I also bought it as a kit with a bunch of different things that come with it. Memory card. It came with the clear case for it. It also came with a 4-port USB hub to go with it. A power supply that came with it. This is going to be used for a separate project that I've been working on that I will be showing everybody in the very near future. So that's why I have all this, because it's all going to be for that project. What I'm going to be doing is setting up a temperature and humidity sensor for outside, and so that's why I've got all this, so it'll be protected. And the sensor will also fit, or it should fit, in this box, so that way it'll be weatherproof and you can get the exact temperature where you're at, the exact humidity where you're at, and it makes for a fun little toy to build. So I got that. And we got here another cable that goes with that. This is the USB mini to a regular USB port, because all the new Raspberry Pis are now using mini instead of the full size. and so that's why you want to order either these or a regular small adapter. So this also came with that kit. And one of the neat little tools I got, very inexpensive. This is a ruler. And besides it being a ruler, it's in the US inches, or our measuring system. It also has the metric system on it, as you can see right here. And then what these are is these are patterns for the different surface mount parts. So if you're working on something, and let's say you're looking at resistors or resistors or capacitors, or even LEDs, you have different size of them, from real tiny to a fairly manageable hand that you can hold by hand. But that's what these are here, so you know what size you can use or get, and you'll know exactly which one it is, because it gives a number on here, because they make them in many different sizes. This little scale here shows you the different widths of the lines that are on the boards. So you have that. Then you've got the different types of surface mount parts, such as like transistors, where they'll have that, or they'll have this type of design. You have crystals, so there's different types of crystals set up. Here's another type of crystal setup, and then these are the different types of packages of the surface mounts that you use. And on the back side, it's got the special surface mount ones, where you actually have all the pins which are at the bottom of it, so you don't see them. Or you have the real long ones with the very, very thin, tight. So you have all this to know what size you have, how it's going to line up, even the part that you have. If you want to order a certain part, this way you know you got the right size by lining this up. And it also gives you, if you notice, I'll try to show this a little closer, you can see the blue coming out of the holes. It gives you the different drill size holes that you'd want to use when you're creating projects. When you're making circuit boards, this will give you an idea of how big of a hole you want for certain things. Some stuff use very small holes, some stuff use a certain size hole, which is used for the through hole parts. So very neat, handy little tool. And I think these were like, $2 each, but they're great. Love having them, and great to work with. One of the other things I would suggest getting if you're working on radio equipment, TV equipment, stuff like that, these are what we call alignment tools. They're plastic. Actually, these are kind of a carbide type material, and they're made of plastic. And what they do is they have the different size fittings on them, so you can adjust stuff on your boards, because you have like coils and other things, and you want to use these, because using something with metal actually throws off your signal when you are trying to adjust it. So you use plastic. The other thing is, some of them are very tight, and if you're using metal, when you go in to try to adjust it, if you hit the metal side of the cans that some of them are in, you could short it out. So that's why I would highly suggest, if you're going to do that, get yourself the anti-static alignment tool kit. So that's what we got. And we got some nice radio antennas. These are for ham radio. I tried to do two different companies. They both have the same product basically, but they're just different companies. So I'm going to check them out. I'm going to put them on my tester, see how they test out, see what range they are, and see if they're very good or not. I've heard some good news on these, so I just wanted to get them. The reason why I get these longer antennas, and I suggest getting them for those who are ham operators or getting in ham radio, is because the normal antennas that come with them, they're okay, but these give you some extra mileage, so to speak. They will reach out farther. They do have a slight dB gain on them, which makes it nice. And they work extremely well. And I've used the diamonds. I've used the comets. The diamonds I like. I've had a couple issues with the comets because they make their connectors so small and thin. I've had them break off near where the radio's at, and I've had to fix them. So I decided to see what these are like. They're an off-brand, but they're packaged similar to, this would be what a diamond would come in. This is the type of package that this is a package that, I'm sorry, the comet would come in. This is a package that a diamond would come in this color packages. They say they're about the same as that, so we'll see, at about half the cost of them. So we got those. And let me go and grab the other stuff since I've limited the room here. One of the other things I got, because I'm working on a whole new setup for here, is a power distribution set. It comes with the Anderson poles, so you can use those. And now Anderson is giving these covers so they stay together nicely, and they all stay, and then when you plug them in, so you get the covers with this, you get the Anderson poles with it, and this is the distribution so that you can hook up more than one radio, and they're fused, so if something happens, these fuses will blow before you blow the radio. And you have the DC input, which is right here, and these are the different outputs, and then they're also, with the fuses, are of different values. So this is a 40 amp, these two are 30, these are 20, these are 10, this is a 5, and it's a 3. So basically, if you want to charge some things that are very low voltage, you would use these, or low amperage. 10s are used for some stuff, but the 20, the 30 is what you're going to use for your heavy radios, especially your HF equipment. Usually you're on 30. If you need to and you want to, you can change and put 40 in for them. But make sure that you're using the right ones so that the it will blow when it needs to, or otherwise you will damage your equipment. So this was a great little buy. Highly suggest getting it. We all use Anderson poles, especially when we do emergency communication stuff. By putting Anderson poles on all of your stuff, everybody can actually switch equipment out, and everybody all has the same connector, so everything always works. There's no worrying about having different types of connectors and not being able to hook up another radio to replace the radio that might be down or having a problem. So everybody today in amateur radio does use the Anderson poles. So we got that, and I know I'll get some flack for this one. I decided to get another Baofeng. These I think are okay. Some people like them, some people don't. They have their pluses, their minuses, but the thing is, to me, it's a radio. If I need something in an emergency, I break one of my big radios, my better radios, I have this as a backup. This particular one, this is a dual band. This is a UHF VHF, and this also has 8 watts out. So it's a very nice unit. Like I said, some people like it, some people don't. But this is basically what it is. It's a handheld radio, and for the price, I mean, you can't beat it. I consider these and use these more for different things than my good ones, simply because I consider them and what some of the other people consider them is a throwaway radio. And I'm trying to remember how this goes in, and let's see if I can do this. Yeah, it goes this way. Okay. So and there we go. So there's the radio with the battery on it, and it's nice. The other thing about these are, and again, I understand being an amateur radio operator, a lot of people, again, there's plus and minuses with all this stuff and arguments about it, and I just do what I think is best and what I do. These can be programmed outside of the amateur band, and the reason why some of us use that is because we have what we call a Mars frequency, and we have some other frequencies which are used for like military frequencies. We can set these for commercial frequencies, so if we're working with certain agencies, we can request if we can use their channels, so we'll program them in here, so this way we can hear everything we need to, and that's a whole part of emergency communications. You know, instead of carrying 3 or 4 radios, I'd rather have one radio that I can do it to. Yes, when I tune it off of the amateur band, is it illegal? Yes and no. Again, it's a debate, but if I'm working with an agency and they have that frequency and that's what they're using, and I ask them if I can allow to use that frequency, at that point it really isn't illegal, because you can tune that. They're saying that, oh well, because you can change it, that's the problem. Well, again, all radios are going to the point where you can actually program and change them, so I think it's kind of a moot point to be arguing about it. The whole point is to get the job done when you're supposed to, especially in emergencies. The less you have to worry about all the legal and political, the better it is, I say, because we get things done and everybody's safe. So now one of these are great beginner radios for somebody who wants to get an amateur radio. They're very inexpensive. This is 35 bucks and it does well. Yeah, some of them do kind of sound off band and sometimes, but there's ways of fixing that. Especially being an amateur radio operator, you should know how to fix your equipment so that it's not bothering other frequencies, crosstalk or stuff like that. But again, it's up for debate. Myself, I really don't care. I do what I need to do. I am within the law as far as my license is concerned, and anytime I am questioned about it, I do have all the paperwork that I need, so no problems there. And last, well, 2 more things. Again, got myself some 8X, which is very good cable. This is 100 feet, and I'm going to be putting up some more antennas. So pretty good cost. They're basically built the same way that you get at like HRO or any of those places. Same products, they get them from the same places, so I would highly suggest getting whatever you need. This is 8X, which is pretty good. It does well with UHF and VHF. Those are the 2 frequencies normally that you want a heavier cable on, because they do have a loss on them because of the frequency. For HF, this is great. HF doesn't care because of the way it's set up. You can have good you can have good cable, you can have bad cable. It'll still transmit. It'll still work. So, but again, something else I would suggest you look at and buy. Not necessarily have to get them at the expensive stores because they're going to mark it up. I think I paid 10 bucks for this. So again, another great product that you can get and what we're going to be using. And last but not least, we got here a we'll zoom this up. Whoop. We'll zoom this up a little bit so it'll all fit. Move this guy out of the way for a minute. This is a Pyramid power supply, and this one is a 50 amp. And the reason why I've got the 50 amp is because I have some older equipment that likes to have more amperage. So the better the amperage, the better it is that your radio is not going to shut down. And this has the needles on it for both the voltage and the amperage. It has USB ports on it, and it has the thumb screws, which you can turn around and hook up short wire to that, and then have Anderson poles on it. It also has an adjustable voltage, so if you need to have just a little more, you can do that, but you normally want to be around 13.8. Yes, systems say 12, but usually it's 13.8 because that's what cars run at. So any equipment that's in a car is going to be running at 13.8 volts. So that's what we try to make sure they're set at. And we'll take this guy out of the box here. And I got to move that to do this. I just love unboxing things. So much fun. This is heavy. Not as heavy as my other one. I got one that's a 50 amp that's a rack mount unit, and it's really heavy. But we'll kind of set this like this so you can see. And there you go. That's what it looks like. You got your power switch here. You got your amp, your voltage. These are 5 volt, 2 amp, which are very good, which you want for your USB. These are your terminals. So you got 2 of them. Got one there, there, and then this is adjusted to where you're down towards. I gotta change that out a little. It's a little off. But anyways, down there is 12 volts, and it'll go all the way up to 15 volts. So it's a Pyramid. Again, some people have some good about Pyramids, some people don't. Again, it's a matter of personal preference, I think, myself. So I like what I want, I like what I get, and if it works for me, it works for me. And let's see if I can get this in here the right way. Drop that down there. Alright, well, we'll worry about that later because we're going to need that in the box anyways. But anyways, guys, drop this back down and adjust it. A little bit. There we go. Anyways, everybody, that's what I've got for the second week of July, and I hope everybody's doing well. Hope everybody's enjoying things, and I am still working on a video right now, which I hope to have out by next week on this little guy here. Trying to finishing him up, and because I got to put the coils on, and then I got to do some adjustments, and then I got to do some software on it and get it working, and then we'll show how it works. And then the other thing I got today, which is really nice, is this is a VFO and digital head unit for amateur radio, because I'm going to be building a amateur radio basically from scratch, So I ordered this. It has the different buttons for things. This is your rotary encoder, and this is set up where it has the SWR on it. It'll have a waterfall on it. It does all kinds of things, and so basically it has all the different pins on here so you can wire it to the type of ham radio equipment that you're building. So I got this because, like I said, I am hand building one. I'm going to I'm also going to, hopefully, if I got enough room in the box that I'm going to do, I'm going to also build a auto tuner in it. So I'm waiting on that to come. It kind of, I don't know, kind of sucks in a way. There's not a lot of stuff you can get from the United States anymore for projects. I mean, decent stuff for projects. I have to go out of the country to order this stuff, and it takes a while. Some of the really nice kits that are out right now, they're coming out of Russia. So I'm waiting for some of that. I got like this kit here, all of the parts and all the different things for these kits. They come from what's the name of the country again? Old time memory. They actually come from Turkey, and you know, it's in English, very well documented. But again, I mean, it's ridiculous that we live in a country where we can still build stuff like this. Why we don't anymore, I don't know. This is the problem where kids don't learn these things anymore. They rather just sit in computers instead of learning how to build stuff and learn how to do something. And you know, when something happens, they're going to be lost. They're not going to know what to do. They're not going to know how to build something. They're not going to know how to survive. So this is why we do a lot of this stuff, for fun, to learn stuff, and also to hone skills, so that when something does happen, we have ways of knowing how to make stuff to communicate, because there will be people communicating, that's for sure. But anyways, enough of all that. I'd like to thank you all for watching my video. I hope you subscribe. I will have a lot more neat stuff coming up. Yes, I've been kind of a beginner on all this stuff. I got kind of thrown in it because with everything that's been going on, it just makes it nicer for me to share a lot of different things and do this, to give back. But I'm working on some more equipment and some more stuff, kind of make things a little more fun, a little more professional, but it's taking time. Again, it's money, and you know, we got the company going. We're doing okay now. I've got a couple of markets that are coming up that are going to be helping us a lot. My offices are all open again, which I'm happy about, because their quarantines are over. So we're going full speed ahead, and I'm trying to get some more stuff out so that people know that we're here. I've been doing this for a long time, but not under the company I'm at. I've had quite a few good big clients for the past few years. A couple of them I lost due to certain things other than our company itself, but one very good client of mine, you know, a wonderful man, is kind of my attorney too. He passed away. He was one of my largest clients. I mean, he had 30 attorney office. I still come in once in a while for that, but not like you used to. But I'm trying to build up things again, and I'm hoping that other people will be happy to get a hold of us and have us do stuff for them. I'm not really in it for the money like a lot of people are. Yes, I do want to make money at it, but I am very reasonable with my rates. I do a lot of stuff for people who don't have a lot of money, especially with what's been going on. I do fix their equipment. I do order stuff for them, and I try to make it as reasonable as possible for them. Because again, some people are just getting to work, some people still haven't gotten to work, and they have kids. The kids need to use computers for schools, stuff like that. So I feel it's an obligation to me, because of being, how should I say, blessed with all that I have, all that I've done in my life, that I can help these people. I can still make something, but I don't need a lot to make. And at the same time, I'm getting somebody something they need that helps them in their life and what's going on. So that's what our company is trying to do. We restructured a bunch of things, and that's kind of what we're trying to do. We're trying to bring back this industry to what it was. We're trying to make people understand that, you know, it doesn't have to cost you thousands of dollars to have stuff fixed. I don't pad prices on parts. I barely make anything on parts anyways. So it's basically time and labor. And time and labor, depending on the type of job, it's pretty easy to do. And so if anybody out there is looking for somebody who needs help on stuff, you know, please contact me and be glad to help you, glad to go over things with you. But we've been trying to set out a goal as part of our company to get used equipment, have people donate stuff to us. What I do is turn around and I make sure it's working, and I kind of refurbish it, and what I do is I actually give it out to some of the families in the area, some of the different organizations in the area, so they can give it to people who need something, but they're not paying anything for it or a lot for it, so they can still stay in touch with the world. And also for kids, you know, their students. Again, this helps them with their studies. You know, it's kind of unfair these days where, you know, children have to, the family has to spend so much money to get a computer for a child to be learning at home. You know, going back a couple of years, yes, some stuff was expensive, but then again, we were able to make some of the stuff, and it was cheaper, and it was easier. But again, that's what we try to do, and that's the purpose of part of our company is doing that. Besides me working with large companies, doing all of their work, because that's where I get my money. And you know, again, if I can give back to the community, I do. That's me. That's just something I've learned throughout my life. So anyways, enough of that. I hope everybody has a great weekend. And again, please subscribe to my channel. And, you know, I want to keep getting my ratings up. I'm trying to get better at all this. So bear with me. Like I said, I got some more toys coming to make everything look neat and different. So we're getting better. I've been lucky that I have more time to do this stuff. The only time I go out is when I have my big clients that need help. I'm the one that does it. The rest of my team and the rest of my people, they work on phones, doing customer service stuff and all that. That's another part of our company. We work for other companies doing their service calls and stuff. So we're a very diverse company. I have a great bunch of people that do graphic arts. They do web design. Great people. They'll do everything that you want, and they will not finish until you say they're finished. So that's the way I do things in my company, and that's what I expect of my people. And our job is to make sure that our customers are happy and satisfied. So again, if you need anything or want to know anything, please, you know, leave a comment, or you can contact me in different ways. But please subscribe. It helps me out. The more I get, the more I can get some of the big companies that I've been working with for many years to sponsor me for stuff. So again, this is something that I'm doing on my own, and I like doing it, and I want to get better at it, and I want other people to learn and enjoy what I know. Have a great weekend, everybody, and see you in the next video.